Is it ever the case that words touch you deeper than a touch? Not the ears hearing, but the skin feeling, and each word lands on it like the lightest yet deepest caress. Take a moment now just to feel that question. Breathe it in. Has there been a time when someone's voice, their choice of words, their rhythm, moved through the air, not just as sound, but as a palpable current, and you felt it, not in your mind, but in your very cells? A shiver, perhaps, along your arms, or a warmth in your chest, a quiet resonance that spoke directly to the deepest parts of you, bypassing the intellect, sinking straight into the knowing of your body. We often think of communication as a mere dance of thoughts, a sterile exchange of information, but beneath the surface of every spoken word, something far more ancient, far more elemental is always at play. Between a man and a woman, between any two beings who dare to truly connect, flows not just passion, but life itself. And this life, this vital current, this unadulterated energy, it expresses itself in myriad ways. Sometimes through the unspoken gaze, a silent dialogue that speaks volumes. Sometimes through the gentle brush of hands, a fleeting connection that lingers. And sometimes, most profoundly, and often most overlooked, through the subtle architecture of speech. Each word, when truly spoken, when infused with genuine presence, with intention, carries an invisible imprint, an energetic signature of the speaker's very soul. It's not just the meaning, the dictionary definition that touches us. No, it's the intention, the raw, unvarnished feeling, the very vibration, the subtle frequency that rides upon the breath and travels through the air directly to our being. Imagine each word as a tiny wave, carrying within it not just noise, but a piece of the speaker's own life force. This is the unseen landscape of human connection, the true tapestry of intimacy, a landscape we navigate often unconsciously, blindly, yet it shapes us, it molds us, it transforms us profoundly. It is the subtle art of resonance, where one being's energy meets and mingles with another's. Consider the vast difference between a casual greeting offered out of habit and a whispered secret shared from the deepest well of trust. The actual words themselves might be simple, even mundane, but the energy, the very fabric of the exchange, is entirely different. One skims the surface of polite society, forgotten almost as soon as it's uttered. The other plunges into the depths of vulnerability, leaving an indelible mark. When a woman breathes deeply, truly deeply, from her core, when her voice is truly her own, resonant with her authentic self, life breathes with her. And the air around her, the space she inhabits, becomes charged, not with aggression or demand, but with radiant presence, with a captivating stillness. When a man speaks, not from a place of ego or performance, but from his heart, from his quiet, grounded strength, his words carry the solid weight of his being, not as a burden, but as a precious gift, an anchoring force. This is precisely where communication transcends the cerebral, the purely intellectual, and becomes somatic. It becomes a full-bodied experience, an undeniable energetic exchange, a subtle, intricate ballet of vibrations that resonate not just in our minds, but with our bones, our blood, our very DNA. We feel it in the involuntary softening of our shoulders, in the subtle quickening or calming of our pulse, in the way our own breath, unconsciously, beautifully, aligns with another's, creating a shared rhythm. It is an echo, a profound recognition, a deep remembering of our interconnectedness. Attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. It's a call to communion. And in these moments of truly resonant speech, the universe remembers its own intricate, harmonious song through us, through our shared vibration. This isn't theory, it's lived experience. Think of a lullaby whispered to a child, or words of comfort offered in grief. They don't just convey information, they transmit solace, safety, love directly to the heart and body. In our relentlessly fast-paced world, a world obsessed with speed and surface, we have learned to prioritize the loud, the obvious, the immediate. We chase the tangible, the measurable, the easily categorizable, the things that fit neatly into spreadsheets and schedules. And in doing so, tragically, we often forget, we dismiss the profound power of the subtle, of the unseen, of the deeply felt. We forget that our words are not just mere tools for conveying information, for ordering coffee, or discussing the news. They are sacred vessels for our deepest essence, for our life force, for the very current of creation that flows within us. They are extensions of our very being, our heart, our spirit. This energetic layer of communication, this vibrant, living current, it is always present. Even when we are unaware, even when we are distracted, even when we are disconnected, it is there, like the quiet, persistent hum of the earth beneath our feet, unheard, yet always sustaining. Or the unseen currents, the powerful magnetic flows that shape the ocean's depths, guiding unseen migrations. It's a truth you've always felt, perhaps a quiet intuition, that some conversations don't just make logical sense, they make you feel something, deeply, profoundly. They touch you in a way that awakens something dormant, something vital, something long forgotten. This is why, when energy is blocked, we don't just lose sex, we lose vitality, we lose creativity, we lose the very zest for life. And often, the very first block, the initial hardening, the subtle closing off, begins in the way we speak, inauthentically, defensively, or in the way we listen, not with the skin, not with the heart, but only with a guarded, analytical mind. To reclaim this vitality, to rekindle the lost spark, the fading passion, to bridge the distance between body and soul, we must begin to notice again, to listen not just with our ears, but with our entire being, with our skin, with our breath, with our gut, to feel the rich texture of silence that breathes between the words, to sense the true intention, the underlying emotion behind the sound, to allow the gentle, powerful current of another's presence to flow, not just into our minds, where it can be analyzed and judged, but onto our skin, into our breath, into our very heart, into the core of our being. It is an act of profound intimacy, a sacred exchange, a brave opening. To be truly touched by a word, to receive it fully, to let it land softly, deeply, not as an intrusion, but as an invitation, and to allow that subtle yet powerful touch to awaken something exquisite, something alive, something infinitely precious within you. The universe speaks, not just in grand gestures, but in the quiet resonance of a single felt word. We spoke, didn't we, of words that truly land upon the skin, resonating not just in the ear, but in the very core of being. A beautiful, vulnerable exchange. But then, something shifts, doesn't it? We begin to forget. We forget how to receive. The words, once living currents, become just sounds, just information, a surface noise that barely registers. Why? Why do we lose this exquisite sensitivity? Perhaps it is the pace of our lives, a constant rush, a relentless forward motion that leaves no space for stillness, no time for a breath deep enough to truly listen, to truly feel what another soul offers. We are present, yes, in a way, but often it is a fractured presence. Our minds already cataloging, analyzing, preparing a response even before the last syllable has faded. We intellectualize every message, every tender offering. We dissect it, label it, store it away, rather than letting it simply be, letting it sink into the soft tissues of our heart, the quiet chambers of our body. For even in the simplest word, there is a pulse, a hidden longing. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks, you see. Not always the grand, overt passion, but the quiet yearning for communion, for resonance. And when we block the reception of these subtle frequencies, when we only process them intellectually, we miss the soul's song. We miss that deep call, which is truly not just the body's craving, but the very soul singing its truth. And this is where the separation begins. We learn, sometimes subtly, sometimes brutally, to build walls. Walls between our thinking mind and our feeling body. A defense, perhaps, against the vulnerability that comes with true resonance. For when a word lands deeply, it touches something raw, something exposed within us. It asks us to open, to trust. And sometimes we are afraid to trust again. Afraid of the echoes of past hurts, the ghosts of unreceived tenderness. So we guard ourselves. We create barriers, not always consciously, but with a quiet, persistent vigilance. We learn to keep the mind busy, to intellectualize, to categorize, to control. This habit, reinforced by a world that often values speed and logic above all else, teaches us to disconnect, to exist primarily from the neck up. But think for a moment what happens then. When we cut off the flow, when we block this subtle yet profound current of communication, what do we truly lose? It's not just the sweet ache of intimacy, the spark of desire that begins with a look, a touch, a word. No. When energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose the very current of life itself. The capacity for deep connection, for profound understanding, begins to wane. Our senses dull. The world, once vibrant with possibilities, takes on a muted hue. We feel disconnected not just from others, but from ourselves. The whispers of our own intuition, the subtle knowing of our body, become muffled by the noise of the intellect. Remember this: between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. And that life force, that potent energy, is meant to flow freely, to nourish and sustain us. When we forget how to receive, when we build these invisible walls around our hearts and our bodies, we interrupt that sacred flow. We deny ourselves the richness, the aliveness that comes from truly being seen, truly being heard, truly being felt. It's a quiet forgetting, perhaps, a slow drift away from our inherent sensual wisdom, but it is never permanent. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. There is a whisper in the air, a truth we often forget or perhaps simply overlook. We speak, we listen, but how often do we truly feel the weight, the texture, the very essence of the words we exchange? We imagine touch, sight, scent as the primary conduits of connection, and they are, profoundly so. But what of the unspoken architecture of sound, shaped by breath and intention, given form by the tongue? Each word, you see, is not merely a collection of syllables. It is a vessel, a small, intricately carved boat carrying a part of us across the silent space between one soul and another. When spoken with genuine presence, with a deep, open heart, it carries a vibration, the energy of the speaker. It is not magic, no, it is far more profound. It is the natural, untamed current of life itself, flowing through us, finding expression in every sound we make, every truth we dare to utter. This is why sometimes a simple phrase can land upon you like a caress or a revelation. It can settle into the skin, resonate in the bones, awaken something long dormant within. These words, imbued with life, become tangible. They can heal wounds you didn't know you carried, inspire flights of the spirit, awaken corners of your being that have slept for too long. Consider the space between a man and a woman, a sacred space. Here, between a man and a woman, flows not just passion, but life itself. A river of shared existence weaving through hearts, minds, and bodies. And words, sincere, honest words, are among the most powerful currents in that river. They are the living waters that quench a thirst far deeper than the physical, a longing that resides in the soul itself. We often mistake desire for a purely physical urge, a simple call of the body. But listen closely, and you will hear something else entirely. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks. It yearns for connection, for recognition, for an intimacy that transcends the fleeting. It is a deep, resonant hum, a yearning to be truly seen, truly heard, truly felt in the entirety of one's being. When we speak from this place, when our words carry the authentic longing of our spirit, something extraordinary happens. The exchange becomes an act of profound intimacy. It is a communion where vulnerability is strength, and listening is a sacred art. The words become a bridge, not just between two minds, but between two souls. They create a shared space where both can expand, where both can breathe more freely. And when a woman breathes deeply, truly deeply, life breathes with her. Her breath is not just air, it is the rhythm of the cosmos within her, expanding, contracting, filling every cell with vibrant energy. And when her words emerge from that deep, life-affirming breath, they carry the very essence of creation. They can awaken the world around her, and especially the man beside her. They are not just sounds, they are an invitation to life itself. This profound connection, this current of life energy is always present. It is the foundation of our being. Yet, sometimes we feel it recede. We feel a disconnect, a quiet ache. And often, it is because when energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose the vibrant hum of life, the spark of creativity, the joy of being fully present. These blockages often begin not with grand gestures, but with small, unsaid things, with words withheld, or words spoken without true presence, without the vibration of life behind them. We may look in the mirror and see the passage of time. We may feel a lessening, a dimming. But understand this: a man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, when he ceases to see the miracle in the everyday, the sacred in the mundane, the endless depth in the eyes of another. Words spoken with wonder can rekindle that gaze. They can remind us that life is an ongoing unfolding, an eternal mystery to be explored, not solved. And attraction, that magnetic pull we feel towards another, it is not a sin. It is not something to be feared or suppressed. Attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. It is a deep, primal recognition of the divine within another, a resonance between two souls that echoes the very fabric of creation. Words spoken with reverence and honesty can honor this remembrance. They can deepen it, sanctify it, transforming mere physical impulse into a profound spiritual awakening. For desire is not the body calling, it is the soul singing. It is a melody, sometimes quiet and subtle, sometimes powerful and resounding, that seeks harmony with another. And our words, when they are true, when they are imbued with our life force, become the instruments of that song. They can draw out the hidden beauty, the unspoken longings, the quiet truths that reside in the heart of another. To speak from this place, from the depth of your being, and to listen with the same profound reverence is to enter a new dimension of intimacy. It is to recognize that every exchange is an opportunity for connection, for healing, for the gentle unfolding of shared life. The words you offer become sacred offerings. The words you receive, sacred gifts. Allow yourself to feel the presence in your own voice, the warmth, the intention, the life force moving through you as you form each sound. And allow yourself to truly hear, to absorb the living energy in the words of another. For in this mindful exchange, we do not merely communicate. We awaken, we connect, we remember who we truly are and the infinite potential of the life current that flows through us all. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. And so we arrive at a threshold, a quiet turning point. Many of us, somewhere along this intricate journey of life, feel a subtle shift. A softening of the edges, perhaps, but also a hardening of the core. We may find ourselves hearing words, yet not truly feeling them. We listen with our ears, yes, but does the sound truly travel? Does it land deep within, stirring something alive? Words spoken with wonder can rekindle that gaze. They can remind us that life is an ongoing unfolding, an eternal mystery to be explored, not solved. And attraction, that magnetic pull we feel towards another, it is not a sin. It is not something to be feared or suppressed. Attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. It is a deep, primal recognition of the divine within another, a resonance between two souls that echoes the very fabric of creation. Words, spoken with reverence and honesty, can honor this remembrance. They can deepen it, sanctify it, transforming mere physical impulse into a profound spiritual awakening. For desire is not the body calling, it is the soul singing. It is a melody, sometimes quiet and subtle, sometimes powerful and resounding, that seeks harmony with another. And our words, when they are true, when they are imbued with our life force, become the instruments of that song. They can draw out the hidden beauty, the unspoken longings, the quiet truths that reside in the heart of another. To speak from this place, from the depth of your being, and to listen with the same profound reverence, is to enter a new dimension of intimacy. It is to recognize that every exchange is an opportunity for connection, for healing, for the gentle unfolding of shared life. The words you offer become sacred offerings. The words you receive, sacred gifts. Allow yourself to feel the presence in your own voice, the warmth, the intention, the life force moving through you as you form each sound. And allow yourself to truly hear, to absorb the living energy in the words of another. For in this mindful exchange, we do not merely communicate. We awaken, we connect, we remember who we truly are and the infinite potential of the life current that flows through us all. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. And so, we arrive at a threshold, a quiet turning point. Many of us, somewhere along this intricate journey of life, feel a subtle shift, a softening of the edges perhaps, but also a hardening of the core. We may find ourselves hearing words, yet not truly feeling them. We listen with our ears, yes, but does the sound truly travel? Does it land deep within, stirring something alive? This is the path back, a return, not to a younger self, but to a deeper, more resonant one. It is a journey back to the very current of life that flows between us, when we allow it to be unhindered. For between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself, a current of pure, creative energy. How do we begin to rediscover this lost sensitivity, this ability to feel, truly feel, the whisper of another soul? It begins not with seeking, but with allowing ourselves to be present, entirely, to listen with more than just our ears, to open the vast, intricate network of our being to the subtle frequencies that surround us, that are constantly being offered to us. Imagine your entire body as an instrument, a finely tuned receiver. Your skin, every pore, every nerve ending is capable of registering the slightest vibration. The air itself carries messages, unspoken truths. When another speaks, can you feel the resonance in your chest? The subtle shift in the atmosphere around you? Can you allow their words to travel, not just into your mind, but into the soft tissues of your being? To land on your skin, yes, but also deep within your bones, in the very core of your stillness. This is what it means to listen with your whole body, to invite the words in, to let them find their echo in every cell. It requires a quiet courage, a willingness to be open, to lay down the armor of expectation and analysis, to simply receive. To let the sound, the intention, the very essence of what is being shared wash over you. To feel its texture, its warmth, its quiet demand for acknowledgement. And from where do our own words then emerge? If we are to truly connect, to bridge the spaces between us, our words must come from a place deeper than the mind. They must be born of the heart, of the soul's own unique song. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks. And when we speak from that place, from the wellspring of our authentic being, our words carry a different weight. They vibrate with truth, with a profound, undeniable sincerity. It is a gentle art, this speaking from the depths. It is not about crafting clever phrases or intellectual arguments. It is about allowing the truth of your own experience, your own feeling, to rise to the surface, unadorned. To let your words be an offering, a gift from your innermost sanctuary. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. And when she speaks from that depth, her words become a breath of life for those who truly listen. This requires a certain bravery, the bravery to be vulnerable, to let your heart be seen, to let your truth be heard without fear of judgment or rejection, to trust that the energy flowing within you is pure, and that when expressed authentically, it will always find its way home. When we engage in this way, listening with our whole being, speaking from the heart's quiet chamber, something extraordinary happens. The space between us dissolves. The distance between body and soul begins to heal. Words cease to be mere symbols and become living currents, flowing from one being to another. They land. They create ripples. They find an echo in the very core of who we are. This is the reawakening of wonder, the return to the sacredness of human exchange. Each word spoken, each word received becomes a small miracle. A testament to the profound connection that is always available to us if only we remember how to access it, to remember how to look, to remember how to feel. A man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, and it is the same for a woman. It is not the years that diminish us, but the veil we draw between ourselves and the vibrant pulse of life around us, within us. When energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose the capacity for joy, for inspiration, for the deep, creative current that fuels our very existence. Attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. And this remembering, this return to sensitivity, is a remembering of our own inherent sacredness, our own capacity for deep, soulful connection. It is the understanding that intimacy is not merely physical proximity, but a profound resonance between two spirits, two bodies, two hearts willing to open and receive. So let us begin to practice this gentle art. In your solitude, in your quiet moments, simply breathe. Feel the air on your skin. Listen to the sounds around you, not just with your ears, but with every fiber of your being. Let the world touch you, softly, deeply. And when you speak, allow your words to emerge from that deep, quiet place within you, where your truest self resides. Let them carry the warmth of your heart, the wisdom of your soul. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. Итак, мы приходим к этому тихому пониманию, этому мягкому знанию, что, возможно, всегда обитало в вас, слабому эху, ищущему свой голос в тишине вашей души. Ибо слово, истинно произнесенное, истинно принятое, никогда не является просто мимолетной звуковой волной, быстро растворяющейся в воздухе. Оно несет в себе саму суть говорящего, фрагмент его глубочайшего «я», резонирующий шепот его духа, тянущийся, ищущий общения. Вы чувствовали это? Тот глубокий момент, когда разговор превосходит обыденный обмен фактами или мнениями, когда пространство между вами и другим человеком становится заряженным, живым невидимым электричеством. Именно в этих священных паузах, в тех общих взглядах, которые говорят тома без единого слога, в тех словах, наполненных неоспоримым присутствием, разворачивается истинное общение. Это не просто интеллектуальная транзакция, это священный танец энергий, замысловатое прекрасное переплетение двух различных светов. Задумайтесь об этом глубоко. Между мужчиной и женщиной течет не просто страсть, а сама жизнь. Этот поток, эта пульсирующая река часто неправильно понимается, часто боится и слишком легко подавляется шумом и ожиданиями мира. И все же это та самая сила, которая обновляет нас, которая питает корни нашего бытия. Это античная река творения, текущая не только через чудо физического продолжения рода, но через каждый акт вдохновения, каждый момент глубокой связи, каждый творческий импульс, расцветающий внутри нас.
Когда эта река течет свободно, не скованная сомнениями или страхом, наш мир озаряется почти сверхъестественным сиянием. Наши чувства пробуждаются, становятся более острыми, более восприимчивыми к бесконечной бесконечности бытия. Мы чувствуем себя не просто живыми, но поистине одушевленными, наполненными ярким вкусом к жизни. Но что же происходит, когда этот жизненно важный поток преграждается? Когда осадок старых ран, жесткие берега страха или унималивая, отвлекающая какофония современной жизни строят невидимые плотины в нашем внутреннем ландшафте?
Когда энергия блокируется, мы теряем не секс, мы теряем жизненную силу. Мы теряем то яркое жужжание, то глубокое, резонирующее биение, которое делает жизнь богатой, целеустремленной и глубоко осмысленной. Мир вокруг нас может начать казаться тусклее, его цвета приглушенными, его текстуры менее привлекательными, его музыка менее резонирующей для наших сердец. Это не просто физическое отсутствие или снижение физического желания, это глубокое духовное угасание, тонкое, но всепроникающее угасание нашего внутреннего света. Мы тоскуем по чему-то, чего не можем назвать, по недостающей части самих себя. Эта энергия, этот священный жизненный поток выражает себя через поразительное множество форм. Один из ее самых мощных, самых непонятных языков – это само желание. Слишком часто нас учат, неявно или явно, бояться желания, видеть в нем что-то незнищенное, плотское, что-то, что нужно строго контролировать, или, что еще хуже, чего нужно глубоко стыдиться. Но я приглашаю вас сейчас взглянуть глубже, заглянуть за эти обусловленные реакции. Желание – это язык, на котором говорит душа. Это стремление души к глубокой связи, к возвращению к целостности, к изысканному отражению себя в чужом взгляде. Это непреодолимое стремление к творчеству во всех его формах, к расширению, к большему, большей красоте, большей истине, большей любви, большей жизни. Подумайте об этом так, мой друг. Притяжение – это не грех. Это Вселенная, вспоминающая себя. Это фундаментальное, магнетическое притяжение между двумя взаимодополняющими силами, ищущими не просто союза, но и изысканной гармонии. Это неоспоримое признание общей вибрации, глубокого резонанса, который пробуждает что-то древнее и глубоко истинное в глубинах нашего существа. Отказаться от этого врожденного притяжения, этой первобытной тяги, значит отказаться от фундаментального, священного аспекта самого нашего существования. Разорвать жизненно важную связь с обширной, сложной и взаимосвязанной паутиной самой жизни. Это значит приглушить тот самый свет, который стремится привести нас к подлинной связи. Когда слова, произнесенные или невысказанные, становятся настоящим мостом, по-настоящему соединяющим одну душу с другой, они перестают быть просто абстрактными символами. Они становятся живыми сосудами, переносящими эту животворящую энергию через бездну разделения. Они могут исцелить то, что сломано внутри нас, осветить то, что кажется темным и запутанным, и подтвердить то, что глубоко, по сути, истинно о нас самих и наших отношениях. Они обладают силой возрождать эмоциональную близость, исцелять иногда огромное расстояние, которое может возникнуть между нашим телом и нашей душой, между нашим внутренним миром и нашими внешними проявлениями. Вы когда-нибудь замечали, как ваша собственная энергия тонко, но глубоко меняется, когда вас по-настоящему слышат, по-настоящему видят, по-настоящему понимают? Когда слова другого человека ложатся не просто на ваши уши, как серия звуков, а на вашу кожу, на само ваше существо, проникая за поверхностное, чтобы коснуться сути того, кто вы есть. В этом и заключается преобразующая сила подлинного общения. Оно наполняет нас тихой, непоколебимой силой, глубоким чувством смысла, которое превосходит мимолетные заботы повседневности. Именно так возвращается страсть в ее истинном, самом широком смысле, не просто физическое желание, а страсть к самой жизни.
Не как лихорадочная мимолетная искра, которая быстро угасает, а как постоянное внутреннее пламя, согревающее и освещающее все, к чему оно прикасается. Подумайте о мягкой силе присутствия. Представьте себе женщину, по-настоящему умиротворенной, по-настоящему присутствующей в своем теле, в своем дыхании. Когда женщина глубоко дышит, жизнь дышит вместе с ней. Ее сущность расширяется, излучаясь наружу, тонкое магнетическое поле, касающееся и обогащающее все и всех вокруг нее.
И мужчину, глубоко связанного со своим внутренним источником, со своим чувством чуда, со своим врожденным любопытством к миру. Мужчина не теряет силу с возрастом, он теряет ее, когда перестает смотреть с удивлением. Когда он перестает видеть чудо в обыденном, священное в чувственном, глубокую красоту в мельчайших деталях существования. Это чудо, это открытое любопытство является истинным топливом его жизненной силы, неисчерпаемым источником его вдохновения, его творческого порыва, самого его смысла существования. Ибо что такое желание в конечном счете, в его чистейшей, наименее испорченной форме? Это не просто призыв тела к мимолетным физическим ощущениям, временному облегчению. Это нечто гораздо, гораздо более глубокое, более обширное, более священное. Желание — это не тело зовет, это душа поет. Песня тоски, да, стремление к связи, но также и песня узнавания, глубокой радости, глубокого резонирующего возвращения домой, к себе и к другому. Это глубочайшее выражение души, ее стремление к союзу, к красоте во всех ее формах, к божественной искре, которая обитает внутри и между всеми вещами. Это понимание, это тихое, нежное осознание не связано с лихорадочным поиском чего-то нового, чего-то внешнего, что нужно приобрести или достичь. Оно, наоборот, связано с воспоминанием о том, что всегда было там, терпеливо ожидая вашего признания. Энергия внутри вас, сам поток жизни, никогда по-настоящему не умирал. Она просто ждала, когда ваше осознание обратится к ней с нежностью, когда ваше сердце признает ее неоспоримое присутствие, когда ваш дух мягко призовет ее вперед, чтобы она снова текла свободно. Она ждала, когда вы снова вдохнете в нее жизнь, сознательно, целенаправленно, с намерением. Чтобы увидеть священное в своем собственном теле, чтобы почтить мудрость в своих собственных желаниях, чтобы ценить глубокий потенциал в своих собственных связях с другими. Чтобы позволить себе, наконец, быть по-настоящему почувствованным, по-настоящему увиденным, по-настоящему услышанным во всей своей великолепной сложности. Это, мой друг, эхо пробуждения, тихий шепот в тишине вашего существа, глубокий резонанс, напоминающий вам об огромном, неисчерпаемом источнике жизненной силы, творчества и любви, который находится в самой вашей сути. Это не просто надежда, это обещание. Обещание, что смысл может вернуться, что вдохновение снова может течь, как чистый горный ручей, что расстояние между тем, кто вы есть, и тем, кем вы глубоко хотите быть, может быть не просто преодолено, но растворено в тепле вашего собственного пробужденного духа. Вы несете в себе бесконечную способность к глубокой любви, к глубокой связи, к безграничному творчеству. Эта способность не является тем, что вы должны стремиться приобрести извне. Это то, что вы должны просто, мягко раскрыть изнутри. Как скрытый источник, чистый и мощный, он всегда тек глубоко под поверхностью вашего сознательного осознания. Все, что он просит сейчас, это ваше нежное внимание, ваше терпеливое присутствие, ваше любящее признание. Позвольте себе почувствовать это тепло, эту тихую уверенность, этот глубокий покой, который окутает вас. Пусть он пропитает вашу кожу, наполнит ваши кости и наполнит самую суть вашего существования. Люби, чувствуй, дыши. Энергия внутри тебя никогда не умирала, она ждала, когда ты пробудишься.